Good morning, Internet fam. So, I'm out here in the sunlight. It rained pretty hard last night down here. For about 5 minutes, it was just pouring buckets. And I haven't had a shower yet or anything. I'm just having my coffee, thinking about taking a shower and maybe getting a little bit productive this morning. But I checked the news this morning and I checked, social media and I kind of have my finger on the pulse of the zeitgeist of society just through the internet. And something that I've noticed increasingly is that people seem to be gravitating towards and really focusing on anything that's pleasant and only things that are pleasant. And it's getting to the point now where people are only acknowledging aspects of reality that are pleasant, and reality is not altogether pleasant. There's a lot of things about reality that are dramatically unpleasant, especially in 2018. We have corporations destroying almost everything alive on the planet, including our government and our health. And but me saying that is going to make this message less likely to be watched or listened to or enjoyed. Because people are only focusing on what's enjoyable. And I get it, from a psychological standpoint, it's good to focus on the positive and to be thankful and have gratitude for the positive things you have in your life. And that's great, and I acknowledge that and encourage that. But you also have to acknowledge and recognize reality and the parts of reality that maybe aren't that pleasant. And I see that not being done as much, increasingly, more and more online. And I'm seeing visceral personal attacks, too, from people. Anytime you bring up something unpleasant or something that maybe people don't enjoy that much, I'm seeing visceral personal attacks by just people who just don't even want to see it, don't want to acknowledge it, don't want to believe that it's a possibility. And I don't think that that's beneficial to us as a species or beneficial to our development as a society, to ignore the realities that are unpleasant that we're facing is, I don't think, healthy. And it's certainly not going to do a lot to help us improve those situations. And so, while I acknowledge and understand that people are going to want to focus on the positive, which is something I try and do. I try and focus on the positive in my life as well, and I certainly encourage that, But to deny things that are negative just based on the fact that they're negative is it's a dangerous precedent that we're setting in our societies. I think because of the internet and because people have so much option and so much information that they can focus on, they tend to either want to focus on things that make them really, really angry. They enjoy that visceral response. I'm seeing that from a lot of women about the Kavanaugh nomination, which again, I think Kavanaugh's a terrible, terrible choice for Supreme Court Justice because he's opposed to the Fourth Amendment, the right to privacy. He thinks that warrantless wiretapping is okay for all Americans. So on that level, I think he's a terrible choice. And also, he was the main judge that was helping George W. Bush justify torture. So maybe one of the worst people on the planet, much less one of the worst nominations for Supreme Court Justice. Not that we could go downhill much from Justice Roberts, but Kavanaugh seems to be a step down even from him, so that's but that's unpleasant, and me saying something about it is going to make this video less popular, because you could easily just switch to something that's pleasant and watch, kittens being cute, or some kind of music video you want to watch or listen to, and I'm noticing that that's affecting art as well. It seems like, hold on, I'm gonna let this ambulance pass. Had to let that ambulance pass. It was pretty loud and obnoxious and unpleasant. I don't want that to affect any viewer of this video. But I'm noticing that focus on the pleasant and focusing on the on the easy too. It's a focus on easy and pleasant. It's not even you know, specifically unpleasant, but also anything that takes any kind of commitment intellectually to focus on, or any kind of depth of character to witness, is also falling by the wayside, as well as things that are unpleasant. Society's increasingly focusing on what's pleasant and what's easy, and I think that it's really, I'm seeing it being really detrimental, especially in art, literature, music. I mean, we're seeing like a dumbing down and a focusing on what's pleasant. You know, sad songs aren't getting the play anymore that sad songs used to get. Angry songs aren't getting the play that they used to get. Increasingly, we're just seeing these like kind of happy, upbeat kind of like songs with no real substance or meaning. And happy songs can have substance and meaning, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing like the very most trite and happy across our entire society take over everything. Not just music, but art, literature, television, movies. It's just trite and upbeat and happy. That's what's the win right now. You know, we're seeing whatever the easy thing is. That's what we're doing. I mean, it's easy to roll out another superhero movie. It doesn't take a lot of intellectual process to make a superhero movie. It doesn't take a lot of intellectual process to devise a superhero movie. You know, they've got the characters. They've got kind of this kind of good versus evil narrative that's super easy to implement and super easy to follow. I mean, you don't even have to be watching the movie half the time, and then halfway through a Marvel movie, you're gonna know, you know, who the good guy is, who the bad guy is, what they're fighting for, and you can spend half that time on your phone, on Facebook or Twitter or Tinder or whatever it is that you're on, and not even be paying attention to the movie, and still, you know, and then, you know, when you're done with whatever you're doing on your phone, get right back into the movie and not have missed anything. And I'm seeing that across everything, you know, everything. And I think we're losing something as a society and as a species. We're losing something when we're unable to deal with contemplating the more difficult topics, unwilling to navigate more intellectual topics, and it's just something I've been noticing the last few days, and I wanted to say something about it. And I post a vlog all the time, so there's my vlog today. Anyway, if you got any thoughts about that, post your thoughts. I'm curious what you think about it. I would love to see video responses. It's 2018. People are more likely to engage in video than in text or etc. But feel free to type your response, video your response, audio your response. That's an option too. It's weird that we're getting into a society more and more video everything, and audio kind of got glossed over. There's very little spoken word being passed around these days. And again, I think that's because intellectually it's not as stimulating for our visual cortex, our cerebral cortex, as the visual is. You know, we're monkeys who are very attracted to anything that's moving quick and shiny. You know, just, oh, eyes over there, eyes over there. And again, you know, that's somehow related to the dumbing down of our literature, of our art, our music, all that stuff. And I think we're missing something there. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Have a good day, Internet fam.